Guys, welcome back to Odyssey Strength Podcast with Jackson Mansuti and Giannis Kotopoulos.
If you like the podcast, please please share on your Instagram, follow us on Spotify, on YouTube, like us everywhere, share us everywhere. Thanks for sticking around.
Enjoy the episode, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to the Odyssey Strength Podcast. We obviously have a guest here today, Adrian Brown.
Namaste.
Honestly, a very unexpected guest. We weren't expecting him to come on. So.
I've literally blown in. I've run away from a cyclone. We were in the Gold Coast and Jackson has...
Yeah, I got a call. When was it? Like 3 o'clock yesterday?
Yeah.
Got a call. I was like, Adrian never calls me. I was like, what's
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. And he's like, hey man. And I'm like, hey,
Driving
bro.
through the cyclone.
Yeah. He goes,
5 minutes away.
No, my favorite part was he's like, oh, can I stay for the night? Like, well, I was like, cool. Like
You say no.
No, yeah, I know. But he's like, how long are you going to be? He's like, 10 hours. And I'm like, what do you mean 10 hours? I was like, what time's your flight? He goes, I'm not flying, I'm driving. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I was like, shit, you're actually going to be 10 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this bloke saying 10 hours? Like,
Well, they cancelled our flight. They've shut the airport. It's pretty much over for Queensland. So,
You know what? We shouldn't laugh. That's
no. So I got out of there as soon as possible. And yeah, here I am. Nicely being looked after on a air mattress with Jackson.
yeah, it was comfortable last
That's my
night.
cuddling partner.
Yeah, it was good.
I would laugh if he was already here and then he rang you and was like, can I stay?
Yeah.
He just went out for 10
How
hours.
long are you going to be? Oh, no, I'm already here.
Did a 10-hour arm workout and now I'm back.
How was the drive?
Terrifying. It was probably on par with one of these drives I did in New Zealand where it was like this crosswind and the steering wheel was just like this the whole time with sheet rain that you couldn't even see and the wipers didn't go fast enough. So it was fucking terrifying. But as we got further and further to Sydney, it dropped off. So,
Yeah.
I mean, first like small cyclone experience. So I don't know how...
Not going back anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, how was your Gold Coast experience overall?
Gold Coast was good for the first few days. Classic beach, coffees, training. But
A lot of life.
yeah, it was good. It was not. I've been there so many times because they stay with Liana's aunt and uncle, and every time it's good.
Yes. Have you been there?
Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few times.
I've never been.
Yeah,
really?
Gold Coast.
Never been to Gold
Really?
Coast. Never been to Brisbane.
You're wet and wild.
That probably wouldn't let me on. Too wild.
You need to be this wild to enter this.
Yeah,
world.
you're too old, I'm too short.
Never. And now too large.
Yeah,
There's a weight limit for both of you now.
You make the cap, but just in width, not in height.
Chode.
Yeah,
But I've never been.
it's good.
Yeah, maybe with cyclone season.
It's very like.
Yeah, maybe go after the
Yeah.
cyclone.
Apparently February's like the worst time to come, so I just found that out off a local.
Oh, really?
No TripAdvisor? They didn't.
No, they didn't tell me. But yeah, cycling is super.
Bro, we're guys, as if we check any sort of surroundings before
But
we
you
do
both
anything.
have partners, so I'm like, even if
Yeah,
you didn't
they
do the
do.
research.
Yeah. So if anything,
No, we knew the cyclone was coming. It's just like we didn't know. They were
it's
predicting.
actually Liana's fault.
Yeah, they were predicting it was just going to sit out there
Stay out.
or stay up like further north, and then it just decided to fucking come down.
It's like, actually, Adrian's up from Melbourne. Fuck him.
Yeah, it's gone. But I've like boycotted all holidays now. I've just
Yeah,
had
you have
worst
the worst luck with holidays.
Because I was thinking about this on the way over, so your stomach was fucked.
No. So this is where it started. WA was a mess because like we got this camper van and nothing really worked and it was just awful. We
How
ditched it.
many days early did you arrive back?
It was like 2 weeks earlier.
2 weeks earlier.
Then we went to Thailand and we both got absolutely fucking owned by stomach bugs. No, well, not me so badly, but Liana. And then, so that was a week of doing nothing. And then we get back and then we have this trip and then Cyclone Alfred comes in and ruins that side of things. But again, I think for me, Gold Coast is always going to be a holiday destination. I don't think I could live there.
Yeah, because obviously we're having the conversation about living there. But after what you've said, maybe think twice about it. Yeah, like tell us about the gyms as well. You said the experience was a bit average.
Yeah, I've been there a few times and every single gym I've gone into, it's never felt like, oh, I could train here.
Yeah.
The Anytime Currumbin that we go to is awesome. Like it's one of the better Anytimes. It's sort of similar to one down in Melbourne with as far as the clientele and stuff. But every other sort of one, I haven't really ever gone into one and gone, this tops Melbourne. Which is weird because it's like, it's the fitness fucking hub, right?
Yeah.
Every fucking dickhead online coach like ourselves go up there to live this life. But there's really nothing, in my opinion, of a gym that's going to be like, oh, this is fucking sick. because they all hate content creators, so you can't film in any of them. And overall, it's just like the experience, just as far as a gym, like I'm used to top-notch Melbourne shit, and I'm like, there's nothing being like, that's it.
I would agree. I think Melbourne has the best gym culture.
Yeah, the truest to the roots of bodybuilding.
Where would you say the best gym you've ever trained at is?
Melbourne. I liked Emerge, but
Yeah, no, I would
like
agree.
I like the setup. I like the vibe. Although when we went, there was no one there. I'm sure even if it was peak, like I don't know how many members they
They
would
cap
have.
it pretty low.
Maybe let's say there was 100 people. You could fit a decent amount of people in there, and you still wouldn't feel like it's a commercial gym.
Yeah.
At the busiest time. And I'm sure like you could have 3 people working in and it'd be no problem because the environment was so welcoming.
Yeah, I agree. Even like, shout out to Jackson Guerin. Like he was extremely welcoming when we were there, and he had no idea who the fuck we were.
No, just said hello.
And that's what you want in a gym. You want to feel welcome. You want to feel like if you're filming content, especially for us as our jobs, like you want to enjoy the equipment and appreciate that. But then you also want to walk in and be like, oh, you know what? I feel like if tomorrow I wanted to join, I could.
Yeah.
And I could train here consistently.
Yeah.
What about you?
Probably, I would say, my friend Oliver's gym down in Geelong, Bloodline.
Oh yeah.
I remember you saying you liked
It's
this
fucking
place.
sick. Like if I live down in Geelong, that's where I'll be training, because it's like he is just the bare roots, crazy,
The environment
super
is-
nice community, but hardcore. He's handpicked every single machine in there. There's dogs running around. Like it's, as far as a gym atmosphere for me, that's everything.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's there to get after it. Like when you walk into that gym, you're like, okay, I just want to train really fucking hard. The equipment's fucking amazing. Oliver looks after everything. There's dogs in there, so for me that's
Solid.
Yeah, no, definitely.
like, as far as like that gym for me, it's just like when I think of a gym that I want to train at all the time, like that's the one. But
Yeah.
as far as the one I'm at now, it's great. Like it's huge and has heaps of machines, but
Where are you at?
Universal now. But as far as the culture there, it's a bit sort of like everyone's doing their own thing. There's no real like
Community vibe.
hub thing, which each their own. Like some people just obviously want to go there and train and whatever else, but
I think it's very
there's limits to each thing.
dependent, on
It's
where-
person dependent on preference and
Yeah.
and what you like in a gym and what you prefer in terms of a vibe as well. Like, yeah, fuck, for me, it'd be really hard to figure out. I've trained at a lot of gyms, man.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah, I'd say one of my most I wouldn't say
Pleasant.
pleasant experiences in terms of just like an experience of a gym was when I was in Europe. I went to that Monster Energy Gym in Portugal. That was insane, but it's not like that's
Where's
a place.
that? Lisbon?
Lisbon, yeah.
Oh no, go.
Yeah, it's not a place you're obviously going to go all the time. Whereas like
But
I'd say
was it like commercial more or
it was commercial, but it's just like bodybuilders everywhere. Like it's like
international spec?
the Big Man Pro was on during that time, the week before that. So there was a lot of bodybuilders training there and stuff, and that was really awesome vibe to see. But fuck, man, I would say, I would say I've actually had a lot of great sessions just with you guys at Doherty's, and I enjoy that.
Old Doherty's.
Yeah.
New Doherty's is a whole different story. Like he's lost the member base that's our age, because we all film shit. We all want to be there. Like who he is going after, it's his business. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. But honestly, like the direction of where content and stuff is going and what people want to do with their like training and stuff, like there has to be a point where you
give in to the you have to follow the time.
and then just like have a rule set, like okay, at this time you can film, at this time you can't. Don't have a fucking A-frame tripod. Get a stick.
Yeah.
There's ways around it. So I think like Old Doherty's for me was really good as well. I really like that. But
Is that the one that we always go to when we see the boys?
Yeah, it was the first time we went.
Yeah,
I think in terms of equipment, I think it was amazing. But yeah, obviously, however people choose to run their business is completely up to them. But yeah, no. What about your training at the moment? How's that going? What's the go?
training is like, for me, it's since from prep and just hating every minute of it. Training now is like the one thing that I just purely just enjoy. I don't really care too much about the diet side of things. I don't care too much about every other sort of factor that I was so anal about in prep. For me, training is fucking everything right now, and seeing the progression and getting stronger every single week, I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Like if I was to just summarize like what I enjoy, it's that.
Back to the
I
core
don't
root
give a
of
fuck
it.
about the eating. I don't give a fuck about being shredded. I don't like. There's no other thing for me other than the obsession of seeing performance increase, and that's what I'm getting right now. And I just want to keep riding that wave, which is huge.
Well, I
What's
guess
the
it's
focus?
easy because it's session to session as well. Like it's not like a massive, like when we talk about journey, let's say you're going to compete.
Yeah.
You competed.
Yes.
It's X weeks. Like we said last episode, it's 30 plus weeks.
Yeah.
It's like at least if you're chasing performance, it's literally day by day.
Yeah, but I
It's so
think
much
if you're
more
going to be
manageable.
a successful person in bodybuilding or pursuing some sort of physique outcome, you need to be that process orientated.
Yeah.
And you need to enjoy that. Like,
Tick the boxes.
yeah, like I think there's aspects of the sport and just being serious about how you look that needs to be, that can't always be the most entertaining and stimulating and whatnot, because let's face it, it is a very delayed gratification in terms of the aspect of itself, and it can be boring in theory. But I think if you truly enjoy the process of it and showing up every single day, chasing performance, like that's what's required. You need that. Otherwise, you can't stay in this for a long time.
Yeah.
The competitive aspect needs to be there. Like at the level that we train at, like if you're not looking at your logbook or app or whatever the fuck you've got and going, I need to beat this, that's where you start to drop off and the excitement of training disappears. Like if you treat it as if every single session is a competition and you're trying to beat by a rep, you're trying to get a bit more intense, okay, the technique kind of sucks here. If you're doing that every single time, like there is an excitement with that regardless of what you want, because that's still going to produce results.
Yeah.
So it's like that, the monotonous, and then you tie that in with like, okay, I'm tracking my protein and, recovering well. It's like, well, you're going to grow.
Yeah. It's going to be a result.
Because as I get that more and more into coaching and see like all sorts of different athletes and stuff and how people respond and whatever, I'm like, their training's fucking mid. Like you got to start there and you got to get it so intense to the point where it's like you're terrified for leg day. Like that's what I always say. It's like if you're not training hard enough unless you're fucking having night terrors the night before for fucking legs. Like I love that shit. Yeah. And it's like, when you push yourself to that point, that's no matter what you're fucking eating, you're going to grow. Yeah. And then you tie in with some like obsession with it. Like, okay, got my protein. I'm a bulk meal prep like we all do and try to make it as simple as possible. Fuck, you just unlock unlimited gains with it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about like what's the most important. Is it, is it the training? Is it the supplements? Is it the nutrition? And 9 times out of 10 from what I've heard, and I would agree, is that it does come down to the training.
Well, look at like if we look back at the first episode we ever recorded, it was what, probably over a year and a bit?
Yeah.
If we were to look at how, you've always trained relatively hard. I'll take myself as a personal example. I didn't. I'm looking at it now. The physique change, even at the same body weight, from the intense or the more intensity in the session, is a night and day difference.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Even take away the effort of the set. If you're even just have more intent in your sessions and you are actually involved in the session, because let's face it, how many times have we all had a shit day going to the gym and like just totally we're just spaced out, we're fucking in the stars, we're not focused on the set. But when you put your phone on Do Not Disturb, when you put the music on, the headphones go on and you block everything, any sort of external thing coming in, and you're just 100% involved in that session, you know that there is a lot more dividends being paid from that just by doing that alone.
Yeah, the Do Not Disturb on the phone's a big one. That's like, so many people, I coach people to do that.
I say
Monday. They don't fuck around with machines. They don't just sit there going like doom scrolling on shit. But yeah, like it takes you out of it instantly. You get like, just say you're going about your day and you get some fucked text, nothing like too drastic, but enough to be like, fuck my life. That takes you out of the set, and now you're worried about this, and now the set doesn't really matter. I don't want to be here, so it's like a 75% effort where it could have been 90, and it's like, okay.
Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I had a client he's got a pretty intense job. Like he's an engineer, and he's like, works this, that, and I was like, listen, man, like when you're at work, worry about work. But like when you're not at work, like you worrying about it anymore is only going to add extra stress to what you're currently stressing about, and you physically in that moment can't do anything about it.
Unless you're prepared to drive back to work.
Yeah. It's like when you go home and you finish the session, it's like if you need to pull out the laptop and doing some work and take care of the problem, go for it. But if it's not life or death, like you're going to be okay. And this is the other thing where obviously people go wrong. It's like, you don't understand that everything we're doing in the gym with our nutrition, whether it's a surplus or a deficit, that's stress on the body too. Whether it's good or bad, if the body doesn't understand, we're still adding to that stress bucket. And if you start overflowing that, you're going to limit your results drastically.
Yeah. The bucket's a great analogy. I always use that. It's like a bucket's that. We're here and you've got that much for training.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're a great example of that. Like
Yeah.
the second you get stressed, you plateau instantly.
Yeah, and that was evident in the last 3 weeks. It was just a dog shit time. It was just like, okay, the transition with the gym and everything that was going on, and trying to obviously work in the background and make things better, constantly better. You always want to do better. Across every aspect, relationships and training, and I'm trying to be a good coach. I'm trying to be a good role model. I'm trying to be a decent human at the same time. And you just
No one cares about that.
No one really gives a fuck about that, but I have to say it anyway. But it's like, once I get stressed, it's just like, bro, the cup is fucking, it's half a cup. It's empty. It's just straight out. You know?
Yeah.
What's your first point of what's your first strategy when that happens? Like, what do you focus on?
I lean on. I said last time I lean on the supplements because for me, it's such an expensive thing.
It's an interesting one you say that because
I think it's because it's my analytical brain.
It's not something I'd usually recommend to.
I wouldn't. I would not. But because you asked me, because you asked me,
I just want you. Yeah.
I would lean on the supplements because I'm not going to buy $200-$300 worth of supplements, take them and fucking piss around. I'm just not going to do it because in my head and my tight ass wog mentality, why would I go through the effort of making sure all my ducks are in a row if I'm just going to fucking waste my time?
So you find from just that small thing of getting your supplements on point, so just taking your fish oils and all that sort of shit.
Yep, slam back 6 tablets in the morning and then I'm like, all right.
And then you start with food prep. What comes next?
Yeah.
And then honestly, it's just like, can I go back to basics with my training?
Nice.
Like, can I peel back the layers of, like, and even I just won't use headphones because I notice sometimes like,
Fuck, raw dog sessions.
but it's just the same thing. And I'm just like, if I can take away some of the layers of training itself and I can just enjoy it, like you said, just give it more intent and just focus, like come back to what it is I'm actually here to do. I'm not here to fucking find the next best song in my playlist.
I think it's almost a curse for our job because we know the ins and outs of training is that we can almost over complex our own stuff. But it's funny when we tell our clients to like simmer down. It's like sometimes we, as high level trainers and athletes, struggle to do the same thing. We're like, but we need to worry about all these different other metrics. Whereas we're like, okay, if we just train hard, supplements, food.
Yeah. I think that's been my biggest perspective shift in my own training is being not focusing on the logbook numbers as much.
Interesting.
Like I've just like
That was a big thing for you though.
like I had to beat the number.
Like every week,
it was a bad session.
Every week.
It was a bad session if I didn't. And don't get me wrong,
You were moving some weight.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I still overload the session, but now it's like if I pull back, I pull back.
Was it that the only metric that you're following though? Was like weight?
Yeah, it was weight, and obviously, like I feel like for me, if I was going heavier, the intensity was there, right? Because I was fighting for that extra rep. I was fighting, but now it's like I don't know. In my head now, and I don't think everyone needs to do this straight away. I think it's probably something that you develop over time, but it's not progressive overload to me anymore. It's progressive stimulus.
Yeah.
So it's like, am I stimulating the muscle to its fullest degree? Is there a decent range of motion? Is there a good control in the rep? And it doesn't need to be a fucking 7-second eccentric on a dumbbell press. But is there enough control that I'm owning the movement?
Yep.
And then am I training that muscle to a point where it can't really actually press? Not the movement, the muscle.
It's funny you say that actually. I've gotten rid of a lot of emphasis on all eccentrics. Like, you control it to the point where it's controlled. I think I used to fucking jerk myself off.
No, I remember. You were just like...
I would be like slow and
slow down. And it's like, I think some body language is fine.
Yeah.
And we all train that way. It's like, if you're doing bent over barbell rows, you're not fucking,
Not turning into a pen lay.
Yeah, exactly. So, but for me, what I've just found that has allowed me to progress better and enjoy my sessions more and actually still train with a very high level of effort is just not even worrying so much about the number and just knowing that, have I taken this muscle to a level of effort that would require it to be stimulated?
I've got too much autism to let that happen. I need the numbers, man. I need to see a rep go up. I need to see some sort of weight. Like it can be anything. Like Liana's got fucking micro plates, and I like put those on. Like for me, it's not like I'm going like crazy with it, but it's just like for me, it's like okay, that's the battle. Like once I've filled out that rep range of say like 3 sets of 15, right? Up the weight, go again, up the weight, and then the thing that I've actually let go a lot with my training is I used to, you know, have you like on. Do you have a number on for volume for your car? 5s, 2s?
Oh yeah.
Like on the TV
what are you?
Yeah.
Are you a 2 and a 4?
I'm a 5 with the TV, and I'm a 2 with the car. But then I was like, with training, I was have to be even. But
So
now I've let
by
go.
reps or
Yeah, by reps. So now I've let go. I'm like, oh, I don't care if it's 9 reps. Makes me like physically ill, but it's like I'm okay.
I can go to bed at night.
Yeah, so I can because like with
Jason
that, right,
put 5 to 7s.
I've gone with the full stimulus. That's all I could have got is 9.
Yeah.
And then I've let go of the fact of like, oh, it's not a round number.
See, I've just gone the opposite way, in the sense of like I'm still progressing the load, but it's just like if it's not that day, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Because like the way I explain it to my clients and I say to myself is like your bicep doesn't know the difference between 20 and 30 kilos.
Yeah.
But you do.
Or what machine you're using.
Or what machine you're using. And even that's
that
something
one.
I've let go of a lot. It's just like having to use that machine. Like,
What do you think's provoked that growth?
I think knowing that, I think the more you learn about what actually triggers muscle growth, and
Simple.
it's like it's literally just comes down to effort and nutritional support.
Yeah.
And fucking consistency.
100%. But then also just knowing, like, you know, I've heard even Jason talk about it. Like, I don't want to be the guy who has to only train on that exercise in that gym, in that thing. Like, you know, fucking Sam Sulek just won his pro card training at fucking Planet Fitness and PCYC. It's like, you know, like, not to say that his training is perfect or even our own, but like there is something to be said of just hard effort, consistency, and obviously eating in a way in alignment with the goal.
The good thing is with Sam Sulek is he's making that pendulum come back from that. Is the worry of this perfect program that's
funny.
the most optimal thing. The cunt fucking did a whole leg session of just leg extensions.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I think he did 6 sets.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and like 2 sets of leg curls or something.
And I was like, fuck, all right. And it makes sense because like he took, like you spoke about, he took it to full stimulus. He like did everything. It's like, grew.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think...
The pendulum swung way too far.
Yeah, like I think obviously, you know, we've all seen us train, and if anyone wants to look up our training, it's very easy to do so. We don't train like idiots, you know. We know what we're doing, and we know exactly what we're trying to get out of each session, set, rep. I think when you obviously know the rules well enough, you can start to bend them a little bit, right?
Yeah,
100%.
I agree. I think once you've followed
100%.
a consistent plan for a long time, and you've, you know, say ticked off some sort of numbers or, you know, physique.
Yeah,
well, it comes down to one is physique. On your topic, it's skill acquisition, right?
That's the thing I was about to say. It's like follow everything perfectly for 6 months, and then once you're there, start figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah, because if you do get I'm not really speaking to beginners because you're going to be fucked either way, but like if you haven't followed a consistent program for a lengthy period of time, doing probably the same 20 exercises, like how many exercises do we really change? We change the order, we change the rep range, and we go brain happy.
And just
or the variation of it.
It's
like you do a hammer strength row, and then you go on a fucking seated cable row.
It's the same thing,
It's the same
right?
thing.
But it's like if you haven't done that, if you haven't had that experience and built it's kind of like the license to change.
We haven't graduated.
No, it's like, hey, go watch
So
go
it's
look
like,
at my carousel.
you know,
I made that.
Yeah. You know, it's like in school. Like you seem to be like the core thing is exactly the same. We all learn the same sort of thing. But like, you know, you can, once you get out of school, you're like, oh, cool, I can now experiment with all these different things. The same goes on with training. Yeah. It's like, you know, my perfect example of what I get everyone to set up with is like, learn how to squat, learn how to deadlift, learn how to bench. 3 foundational movements, you can then essentially do anything.
Yeah, you're covered every single movement.
Yeah. And then no matter what you want to be, a powerlifter, bodybuilder, like you're going to be fine with those 3 movements and a little bit of other shit.
Yeah, I think if you know how to, you know, hinge, squat, press, row, like that's essentially, and that's all we do. That's all we fucking do. We do an RDL.
You just change it up.
We do a dumbbell press.
We just
or
get
machine
excited
press.
over machines.
Yeah, this one.
I
Converges.
can load it in the shortened, lengthened position. Yeah, it's all a bit funny, but like what for me, I think one of the biggest things I've noticed for training for me is that I've now introduced more of as a mentality that it's like playtime for me.
Yeah.
I'm not too. It's
Not married to it.
Yeah, I'm not married to it. It's like, sure, I'm going to still stick to my routine. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to train today. But overall, it's like for me, I think this more came from being online because I'm not as surrounded with people as I was before being face to face. And it's like, fuck, I miss that aspect. So when I get to train with one of my mates, like I've set up 2 training partners now on 2 different days. I'm like, it's fucking, I'm hanging out with mates now. This is like awesome. I'm just going to get after it and have fun. And
which makes for a better session.
Correct. And now I've like, okay, we've gotten stronger. I feel better. Physique is slowly like changing. And it was like just a shift in mentality from being that ultra fucking narrow-minded bodybuilder to now like, okay, I'll just, enjoy training.
I will train.
Yeah.
But I think that's with anything. Like you become too overanalyzed or too narrow-minded with anything. It becomes very not enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree.
Even take this podcast, like, we just sort of chat the shit and let it go on the fly. And we enjoy it a lot more because we have conversations that we want to have, not conversations that we think we should have. And it's like the same with training. It's like if you treat it as something that you enjoy doing, that fills that cup back up, per se, then it's going to be something that serves you rather than something that you...
I feel like people don't like training.
Huh?
I feel like the general don't like training. Like they don't
early on, they don't see results. Like I would honestly, if I was to start my journey again, I would fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Until you start to see bicep vein and something tangible. It's like, oh, this shit's actually working, or your friend says your bigger chest and your arms and whatever. But sure, like
when did you start training?
19.
Pretty
late.
And was it something that, because obviously we've all...
I just wanted to fuck heaps of girls, and I thought if I was big, that would happen.
Did you get big?
Yeah.
Didn't even get big, and I didn't get laid.
But then my question from the back end of that is, what point did it switch? And same to you, Giannis, is what point did you be like, I actually really enjoyed being here?
It was more of, I think, of that emptiness mentality feeling of like the pure focus of it is that obsession. I got it a lot with surfing. When you catch a perfect wave, your brain literally not turns off, but it's completely empty. The only singular focus is that
it's like
wave.
A flow state.
Yeah. And so now I get that through training for that split second of that working set or the session or whatever it is. And it's like, that's what I enjoy. And of course, you reap the rewards of looking jacked and whatever. But that for me now is like, I think where it switched. And that was only from being coached. Because then that guy was a high level bodybuilder at the time, and he would talk about that of like where your mind should go when you are going through just say a horrible set or whatever. And it's just like, there's nothing going on. Because someone will ask, you've asked it like, oh, what's going through your head when you're doing like those heavy deadlifts? You look so angry. And I'm like, nothing. Lift bar. Yeah. Lift bar. Survive.
Yeah. What about you?
I'd say it was probably like, because Jason has been my first coach. So before that, I used to go to the gym, play soccer 6 times a week. But when I would go to the gym, I would just fuck around. So obviously I would go with mates. We trained in the garage, in a mate's garage.
Yeah.
And we used to fuck around.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. But then I think I signed up with Jason when I was 21 or something. And I think it took me a full year before I actually went, fuck, I actually do like this. I think it was just the first year I was like, I thought things would come quicker to me because I was such a skilled athlete. I thought, fuck, I'll be able to take this up really quickly. I'll get big quickly. And it just wasn't as quick as I thought. But then that's only a reflection of what I was doing at the time with my nutrition and my priorities. Like I was a fucking 21-year-old kid. I was just drinking all the time.
100%.
I was going out, I was drinking. I was like, that's fucking sick. All right. But then once I got to 22, I was like, a whole year has passed, right? I don't have newbie gains. They're not a thing because I'd been in the gym since I was like 16.
You have no gains.
Fucking around. I have negative gains and I've been paying for fucking coaching. So I was like, oh fuck. I was like, now I need to be a bit more methodical and actually sit there and go, gym is a time where it's like football practice. It's not a place to fuck around.
Yeah.
If you think about it, and I say this to clients all the time, is a training program is what, 8 weeks? Let's say 8 weeks on average, right? You get to do that session 8 times. You get 8 throws of the dart, That's all you get. So you better make sure they're fucking good throws.
Yeah.
I like that. It's good.
Right? But because if you do the same thing every single week, well, you can just fucking do whatever you want, right? It's not a big deal. But if you only get 8 chances at doing something, you're going to make sure that they're really, really good.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think having switched that mindset to, can I be the best I can be in this session? That was when I go, okay, now I'm starting to see results. Obviously, pair that with nutritional approaches and all that kind of stuff. But the training is a fundamental part.
But that intensity that you with your training just bleeds across into your nutrition and stuff anyway.
Yeah, well, you go, holy shit. You go like, if this is what I can do in 1 hour, imagine what I can do if I support myself with the other 23 hours of the day.
Right.
Okay, take away sleep, whatever. The other 16 hours, if I support myself well, imagine what I can do in that 1 hour.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I'm at now, where I go, nutrition is no longer a thing that takes so much effort. Obviously, take away 3 weeks ago. But now it's just like, if I can just plug and play, all I have to do is show up for the hour and fucking give it my all.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's because you're well practiced now, though. Like,
Correct. Yeah. It's taken a
It's
while.
a skill. Yeah. I think the whole approach to this is a skill. Like,
But, I was chuffed when I put 10 kilos on. I was like, fuck, this is sick. I was like, imagine if I just keep doing this.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's for me as well. Like, when I started training, I say I had 2 stints of it. Like the first one was the first time when I was downstairs in my garage with my mates and we were like, fuck, let's train. And we'd fucking put on Ziz videos and fucking like, bruh, look at me. And we're like benching, the old bench press setups with the bicep curl preacher at the end of it. Like that was the setup. And then for me, it was like, obviously fell into martial arts. And then after that, I'd say I had my first coach who was in CrossFit actually, but then I'd say I
Such a good fucking CrossFit athlete. Such a good CrossFit.
You threw it away, did
He
you?
fucking threw it away. He could have been something.
Could have been the new Matt Fraser.
yeah, literally got the aerobic capacity. Got it.
Yeah, it's never too late.
Yeah, no.
What do you mean? What do you think I'm going to do after bodybuilding?
Handstand
After bodybuilding, it's like it's not like they test.
Go hybrid, bro.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true actually.
But yeah, I think for me, it was knowing when I had my first coach and the joy that I got from showing up to a session and, as you said, putting on that extra 5-10 kilos and then being, fuck, how much can I do?
Yeah, where's my limit now?
Like, what else can I, and that's why strength sports was so appealing because it was so rewarding so early on. Yeah. But then, obviously, bodybuilding is a very big teacher of patience.
Yeah.
But, like, I think where I get that joy from is now, having done it for so long, it's like you focus on the strength and then you see the physique outcomes and then you finish your set and you look at yourself and you're like, how is this possible that I've done this? You take the pump cover off, you look at yourself, you're like, fucking hell.
It's like a vision into the future, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
you're like, if I keep training, this is exactly what I'm going to look like.
Yeah, and it's also fun as well because as you get more and more into it, you go, what if I do this same thing but in something else? Like a business or drawing or whatever the fuck you do. And so it's like your whole mind just turns into sets and reps over a long period of time. And
I remember
that's cool.
there was like, I can't remember the exact moment, but I know for a fact that the part that drew me in the most, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but when it's the set, it's getting ready for it, knowing it's going to fucking hurt. The right song is on at the right time, at the right part. You're about to get into it. I get fucking goosebumps.
Do you save your set song? Do you
Yeah,
listen?
100%.
I know,
yeah,
but do you
yeah.
leave it? Do you not listen to it any other time?
No fucking way.
I love
But
it.
I get goosebumps going into a heavy pendulum squat, knowing that it's going to hurt, knowing that the song is where it should be. And it's just like, that to me is peak. Nothing beats it.
Yeah,
it's,
that's
it's so euphoric.
That's the flow state. You're so invested in the thing that you're doing that you forget what's going on, and that's what all pro athletes. You know that from soccer, right? Like,
Man,
how many
I
different
don't
things?
think about anything.
Did you wear like the same socks, underwear, same sort of thing? Did you go that far?
Mate, the right one goes on before the left.
Yeah, so it's like
Not the undies, the socks. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
Has
like
to. If it was off, it's off, bro. I couldn't do it.
yeah.
Really?
Right boot on for my left.
It's funny, I
always.
never had anything like that when I was
Well,
doing
Jordan,
this
like
stuff.
he tied his laces before every game. Like that was his thing. Like
Wow.
all pro athletes, they have something. So if we were to watch your sets of your top sets, you would probably unconsciously do the same thing every time.
That thing, yes.
Yeah.
I do a certain pace.
Yeah.
Or if I was deadlifting, I would do the same setup. If I was benching, now it's obviously different because I don't do that. But the pace up and down the gym is the same thing every single time. The way I adjust my belt, 100% same thing.
Yeah, and you've just developed that from like having those wins and realizing like, oh wait, maybe it's this belt adjustment that's done it. But really, in reality, it's not. It's just like pure repetition of something, but you, as a high level athlete, those things all play into you.
Take that away,
switching
you
on.
won't have the same result.
No,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Take away the superstition of it.
Yeah.
It's the mental trigger. You know, it's like people who can't stop eating bad food. It's not about the food. It's about the environment they're in that triggers them to want to do that. It's not about the cigarette. It's about every time you get in the car, you want to have a smoke. It's like, how do we know when we program or when we're doing programming, the euphoric beats go on, or the fucking, you know, the brainwaves.
The Hans Zimmer comes
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's that trigger.
Where's my whiteboard?
It's the trigger that makes you feel like it's time to do something.
Yeah, program is a weird one. I just want, like, Sunday mornings just peak for me. It's so strange.
You love a Sunday morning.
Sunday morning
fucking
programming?
fresh bean juice.
You just pulled a fucking, like, sick bean juice. Hans is blaring, and I'm just, like, seeing the Matrix.
So you're a night worker.
Me?
Yeah.
I am, but I think I'm making the switch. I
Yeah.
think it's just because,
Smell of coffee gets you up.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, the thought of a 30-second pull.
Oh, the other day,
37
I said to him,
grams.
I said 36 and 36. I was like, that's fucking, I should buy a lottery ticket. This is nuts. Yeah, I think, I'm leaning more towards just when I, it's less about like, I have to do it when I need to do it. It's like training. It's like, I like training at a certain time. Doesn't have to be at 12. I'm just like, within this period, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to go. Like, I wasn't supposed to train today, but I did my Saturday session today.
Nice.
I was like, I'm just going to get it done. And it was fucking cracker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally do it, but it's just like the same thing. I wouldn't normally work at nighttime, but sometimes I'm like, I sit down, there's no light on. I've got one red light in my room. Feels like I'm in a brothel.
Is it for your balls?
No, I'm facing away. So my neck balls.
He's actually got his ass out.
That's the other way. That's the other place you tan.
Sunning my perineum. And I just go. Like, I just do it.
Yeah, see, my favorite time in the whole day is like 5 a.m.
You
till
love
about
5 a.m.
8:30 in the morning is
quiet.
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
You go for a
It's
walk.
a crispy time.
Yeah, it's a bit cool outside, so you're not too hot.
Jumper weather?
Nah,
No,
t-shirt.
it's still a summer
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
But
It's
it's
early.
just,
It's early enough that not many people are out as well, and you're like,
Yeah.
I own this town.
Yeah, 100%. Go to the gym.
but that's the same. You remember in Europe, if you get up early in Europe, it's like no one lives there.
What do you mean get up early? I'd get to bed at the same time everyone was getting up.
Yeah, well,
fucking
then-
7 o'clock in the morning.
Where
everyone's
is
like,
everyone?
It's like, where's everyone going? It's like, I'm fucking still going home.
Yeah, it's like that. I own the city.
But even when I was in Bali, like that fucking, because everyone in Bali is a fucking online business owner, e-commerce business. So when we get up at 5:30 every morning, because that's just the time that we get up.
Yeah.
And mate, that walk to the coffee shop to
What time do they open?
there was only one that opened up at 6:30. There was only one cafe. The rest all opened up at 9.
Yeah, because they all work till like 1 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Same as Thailand.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And yeah, that walk to the cafe and then get on the fucking bike and go to the gym and
You don't hear any of the beeping?
No, you don't hear any. The streets are quiet. It's my favorite part of the day. It's fucking beautiful.
It is a good time. I can't train at that time, which is weird though.
See, I can.
You can?
I can. I like it.
You like an early session?
I like it because for me, especially being online, where a lot of my work consists of like heavy brain function, I need to serve me before I serve them.
Fair.
Do you find you fucked though after it? Like
I was going to ask you the
Leg day, yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
legs, I'll do legs midday because I know that the quality of work that I get done
vegetable.
on a Thursday afternoon is very low.
Yeah.
Whereas like Monday, Tuesday, I feel energized, I feel good, get a good pump, and then I can go into check-ins on Monday and Tuesday and just be like, let's go.
Hitting it.
This is not
You
good.
get home, you make a coffee, you have your post-workout meal, and I'm fucking on.
Nice. Do you find like it's easy? When do most of your clients train? Are they all pretty similar to you?
They'll train first thing, or they'll train, it's 50-50 split at the moment.
Do you find that there's a difference between their results?
Yeah, ooh, that's a good one. Fuck.
This is fucking existential.
Yes and no. Like, I'd say most people who train in the morning probably do get better results.
Yeah.
Just because of the mindset that's required to get up and do that.
What's the priority, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would say that you're instantly it's your top 3 priority if you're doing it in the morning.
Easily.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you're
So,
not- you're not
if
rolling
you're
out of
waking
bed
up
for
and you're
anything.
thinking, I need to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that like as soon as I shifted away from actually coaching people face to face in the evening, it was like the results that the morning people had were just so much better. I was like, this is fucking bizarre.
Well, you know, like your comment before on the stress of work. It's like it doesn't matter even if your phone is upside down, right? If you've seen that message after a full day's worth of work, you're like, fuck, right? But if it's in the morning, it doesn't affect the session.
Yeah, well, that's why, especially on the Monday and Tuesday, where I get the most messages because it's check-ins. Do not disturb, because I'll get home and then I'll read the message.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the frame of mind of that. It's the same thing with triggers, man. Like, second the glasses go on, work time's on. But if they're not on, it's different.
I'm bad with my glasses. Some days I wear them, some days I don't. Just like to fuck myself like that.
just see if my eyes are going to repair themselves.
Like, maybe these are getting better. Meanwhile, I'm like squinting at the laptop, the computer screen. But like when you circle back to the gym thing, do you think the environment of where you train gets more and more important the more like experienced you are?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes and no.
Why then no?
Because you become so skilled, it doesn't matter about your environment, you can still show up.
It's true.
Yeah, I say, look, for a
Not
long...
consistently.
Yeah, I say if you're doing it for a long period of time, it will definitely be harder. Because even on the caveat to that, man, like sometimes I train at World Gym, and it's so funny because fucking Kaylee gives me a hard time. Just like, you speak to everyone. I was like, everyone speaks to me. I was like,
You gotta put a sign out, get a shirt, do not talk to me.
Yeah,
Need to train.
The Samson, do not disturb on your headphones.
Yeah, and just saying, if you can't speak to me, I'll speak to you because I'm nice. But, you know, like...
You might want coaching, so.
Yeah. Some days because I know everyone there, some days I'm just like, I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to get my session done because I got a lot of shit to do today. And that's where sometimes the environment does get a bit hard because it's like, where on a Wednesday, when I'm doing legs and it's midday and I've done a lot of work for the day, fuck, man, talk to me all you want.
Yeah.
I'll spend an extra
Just
20
to
minutes.
avoid legs.
Yeah. I'll spend an extra 20 minutes in the gym, like, and that's when I usually see you.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
even
yeah.
see it in me. I'm a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
On that part of
you
the
stroll in, you don't have that, it's not like, I'm on a time, I'm on the clock, you know?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, it's a good thing and a bad thing, but obviously, like, that's going to be wherever you go. Because let's face it, you go to a shit gym, you're there for long enough, you're going to fucking speak to people.
Yeah.
You're going to make friends.
Yeah.
Because we're all golden retrievers over here.
That's true. We're all friendly little chaps, aren't we? But yeah, I just find like just the environment wise, I change gyms almost every year. I think. Not because
As a refresh?
Yeah. Just because, not that I obviously get sick of the people, but just for my own mental frame, I like to each year just like almost start with a clean slate and try something else.
Like an Ibrahimovic, new club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we see we don't have that luxury though.
That's where I think the gym culture.
Too much choice, you know.
I think the gym culture is different in that. Is like
We just don't have the space for it, man. And
right. I'm gonna go from anytime Bexley to anytime Rockdale.
That's what I'm saying. It's only commercial gyms. Like a lot of the gyms that you have in Melbourne are privately owned.
Yeah.
There's not many privately owned gyms here.
Really,
and if they are, they're fucking...
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so weird because, you know, you guys in Queensland, it's much more face value sort of interactions that you have with people. Like people really care what they look like here in Queensland. And it's just like, I'm like, where the fuck are the gyms then? Like that's the weird thing. And in Melbourne, we like all cover up in winter and all fucking miserable. But yet there's gyms everywhere. It's really weird. Like just like the whole social difference of the states, like it's almost a mismatch of like
what it should be.
Yeah, it's weird. But I mean, like, fuck. Do you have to train? Like you can still be like a healthy dude and not train. And it's like there's plenty of like other avenues that you can go down with it. But I just find it so
depends
strange.
on your definition of healthy. I mean,
yeah, well,
we're all definitely pushing that definition over here.
Yeah, I just find it really strange. But you know, it's one of those things that you just get used to, I guess.
Yeah, I think if there was an opportunity to train at other gyms on a frequent basis, like I definitely would. And don't get me wrong, we do have some good ones, but I think also, you know, not to complain, the Sydney traffic makes it a lot harder as well. Like,
you're not zipping across Sydney to go to the gym.
Yeah, like a lot of the good
and no zipping. It's crawling.
Yeah, and a lot of the good gyms are out west, so it's like to get there, it's like you got to make a day of it, which you can do on a Saturday and stuff. But like if you're trying to during the week do that stuff, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, one motherfucker on the M5, and you're not going anywhere. You're not training.
Yeah, no, and they've made that to make things faster too. All right, I think we'll wrap it up there. How long was that?
I
Can't see.
44.55.
Oh, beautiful.
Oos.
How good. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. If you do enjoy the podcast, please make sure you like, share it on your stories on Instagram, follow the journey along with us, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. And thank you, Adrian, for joining us today.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.